Forgive the hat. It's cold in here and I just haven't done my hair recently, so never mind. Right, welcome to Wood Turning with Dick.
Welcome to Woodturning with Dick.
So, I've got Purple Heart. I'm going to try something a little bit different, something I've never done before. In a minute, I'm going to square up this piece of square Purple Heart on the table saw, and then I'm going to put it on the lathe as a square piece of wood, turn some circles in it, cut it up, glue it all back together, and then do a bit of gilding on it. A little bit of planing, a little bit of sanding with the oscillating sander on both sides. It is going to be a wall-mounted piece in the end. Going to mount that bit of wood on the wall. Watch and see. Reasonably close to my lines, not too off centre. What I am going to do now is dig out V's all the way along here, uniform. So there'll be lots of measuring going on, so if you see the verniers popping out on the time-lapse video, you know why. I'm going to dig out all of these to hopefully the same depth. Got perhaps a little trick that might work with that, using the Pro Edge skew chisel guide that might assist me getting uniform angles. Hoping that these holes aren't too deep. I did use shorter screws to hold this bit of Purple Heart on. Fingers crossed that when my V's go down to this, it reaches the bottom of these holes so they're taken out completely. Okay, I've laboriously sanded all of this to 320 grit. I'm going to shove some sander sealer on there and then debate whether I'm going to use some Yorkshire grit. I've got no sanding lines that I can physically see. That may change when I get it in a different light. But sander sealer, D-nib with 400, 600 quickie, and then some wax. Then, I'm nervous as all hell. Gonna cut it up. Gonna cut it up into 14 pieces. You'll see. Now, I don't care about the floating bits of dust because I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever to the final finish. And as you're putting the sander sealer on, it drags most of the dust off anyway. If it gets in the grain, so what? It doesn't look massively purple at the moment. You wait till that's been in a light room. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, Purple Heart is not for direct sunlight. I know, currently it looks like some sort of deformed dartboard, but it's not. Right, sander sealer applied. Give that a good chance to dry. I messed it up. My plan was to stagger this like so, but this one's too fat. I was cutting on the lines here, 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 and what I did here is I measured to the bottom line here. So what I'm now going to do is, instead of 12 cuts, not 14 as I originally estimated, I'm actually going to do something like 24. I'm going to cut this one thick piece into 3. They're always going to be thinner than pencil blanks, but I don't know. It's worth trying to make something out of nothing. Make a mistake, try and correct it. Let's see what happens when I cut it up into loads of pieces. It's back from the gilder. I'm so chuffed. It's just the first coat. A lot of the overlap of gold is going to be scraped off with a scalpel, but otherwise, oh, that's looking nice. Now, by the powers of magic, I will turn this into what I finally decided to do. I did try lots of different patterns. The original plan was to have it offset like this. And I tried it like this, even further apart. I tried it in the shape of a love heart, for goodness sake. But it didn't really sing to me. This final image, this final effect is perfect. It's what I want. It's eye-catching, it's different, it's mesmerising, it's hypnotic. It'll do. Happy days. Doesn't that look nice? It's back from Lenore. She's finished gilding it, finished tidying up, taken all the top bits off the top edges here, completely recoated, cleaned. I think I'm going to leave this as a kind of matte finish without waxing this, because the inside here is all nice and shiny and polished and waxed. I'll leave this as a matte finish. I think that'll help add to the finished piece. What I do need to do is quickly tidy up the insides. You see here there's some cut marks from the table saw. There's a little bit of overshoot of gilding. And just clean that off on some sandpaper, 180. Just rub it up and down the table like this. Next thing I need to do is get it squared up. Using these two as my measure of how far apart I want it. The nipple in the middle there to be in line with the edge, and therefore the nipple comes the same distance that side. See, table saw cut, but it's hidden. That one's not though, so I'm gonna have to rub that clean. Put that up at an angle. Oh, that's cool. Just two to tidy up. Bear with, I'll do that and come back to you. Next thing I need to do is glue it. Now, I only want to put a thin line of glue down the bottom here and do it very quickly so that I can bond the whole lot together at the same time. So I've dry fitted it all first to make sure everything sits flush, everything squares up. These are all square, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. I've measured the length of the piece so that it's the same top and bottom, so it's all perfectly square. And okay, let's get on with that. I'll put it on time lapse because you don't want to be watching that, do you? Little bit of paper in there to stop it gluing to the bench. Oops, wrong side. And that's why it's worth having lots of spare little offcuts laying around, just in case. You never know when you're going to need them to prop something up, to push something down, to make sure something's lined up. And that's all lined up nicely. Just quickly, while the glue's still wet, just triple checking everything. Looks good. Looks very good. Get that backside cleaned up. Get some brackets on there. Rather than using wood for this one, I thought I'd use these metal French cleats I've got. Nice and secure. So I'm going to put those right to the very top, just out of sight if you're looking at it directly, if they mount it at eye height. And then I've got a spacer at the bottom there, just to take any pressure off and make sure the piece sits nice and squarely on the wall. There we go, let's get those fitted. Well, that's pretty much finished. I think that'll do quite nicely. I guess it just needs its box. Aha! But, as it happens, here's one I made earlier. Don't forget to subscribe if you've seen this video and enjoyed it, because there'll be lots more coming. I nearly forgot. Here we go. Makes me chuckle every time.